Mr. Shawan Jabarin, thank you so much for coming to Pakistan. We welcome you and we stand in solidarity with the people of Palestine.
Thank you so much.
You were pronounced by Amnesty International as the first prisoner of conscience. And you were in jail, incarceration by Israeli authorities for 8 years. The conflict in Gaza is now ongoing. We have seen the bombings, over 200 days of killings of civilians. You are 1 hour away. Your hometown, Ramallah, is 1 hour away from Gaza. Do you feel and do you fear that the conflict and the violence will expand to Ramallah, your hometown?
First of all, let me say a few words regarding, the commemoration of Asma. Asma is a friend. And when I participated and when you invited me, I reminded all the story that was with her in different places and in different occasions. And we used to exchange ideas. And when you ask about, 1 hour just away from Ramallah or from West Bank, yes, you are right. But 200 days or something like that, it's not just 200 days. Palestinian cases started in 48 and even before, 1 century. That's the case. Palestinians, they have been facing, genocide, killings, atrocities, persecution. The history, it hasn't started just 200 days ago or something like that. We have been under this oppressive regime and colonial regime since so long. And no actions taken against, the oppressive regime to stop their actions. Nothing. Palestinian case, it's the most documented case in the history, in the global speaking. The most documented cases. Go to the UN and you see the shelves full with all the documents, commissions of inquiries by the UN, investigation commissions, resolutions by the Security Council, resolutions by the General Assembly. No one resolution implemented. This is an issue. Yes, this is the main thing, the main part. And the Palestinians, under this situation, they are, they kill them, they take their lands, confiscate their lands, they demolish their houses, they cut off their communities, they isolate, the villages from the city by checkpoints, by also metal gates. Just you can imagine if you go to Palestine these days, you will see like big banners in English, Hebrew, and Arabic. It's forbidden for Israelis to enter this area. It's called Area A. What's called Area A? Area A, it means that the cities, the main cities, and they closed. They put, big cements here and there, and also metal gate. The soldiers, they can come and just close, all the entrances to that city, all the entrances to that village, all the entrances to that town. That's the case. It's
so you are in a big jail.
It's exactly jails. It's not just one big jail only. No. It's big jails, many jails. Every community, it's a jail.
You must have gone to Gaza. I know it's very difficult to enter Gaza, especially for journalists. But have you been able to go there? And if you have, can you tell us what you have seen?
Last time I was in Gaza in 1987. And since that time, I used to be in the prison sometimes. And after that, when they built what's called peace process, Oslo agreement, the Israelis, they imposed, the system which called the permits. They don't allow you to go to Gaza.
But you're making us understand what is happening there. So I'm very grateful that you are, because there's very little access to those areas anymore for journalists. I also wanted to ask you, what about the West Bank? What is the situation there right now on the ground?
If my son, if my daughter, if my wife want to go to visit my village in other place in West Bank, I concern. And all the time I use to follow them where they were, where they reached. Why? Because there are many, many tens of Israeli military checkpoints. And in that checkpoints, sometimes they can shoot without reasons. Without reasons. Sometimes during the night you don't see them ordering you to come, for instance, or to slow, or to stop. You can't. And you keep just afraid and have a fear. Maybe they will shoot. And they shot many Palestinians in these checkpoints. The checkpoints, I look at it as a death traps. Death traps in Palestine. They shoot Palestinians. After that, they come and they demolish a house. What they can gain, except, this is part of the collective punishment against Palestinians.
You're right. What you're saying is the correct word, the collective punishment. You have always advocated for peace. You have always advocated for fundamental rights of people, of human rights, of Palestinians. Are you frustrated today as a rights activist?
And we will not give up. And we will not give up. Because when we fight for that, we fight also for even the new generation, our children, our grandchildren. That's the case. Okay, everything failed, and I can approve to you, and I can say it to you in a very clear way. The international official system regarding the human rights failed 100%. The protection system failed 100%.
Why do you think that?
I think that what's going on now in Palestine, it's unprecedented.
Absolutely.
It's unprecedented.
Absolutely.
More than 120,000 Palestinians. They were Palestinian civilians. They were injured and killed. 14,000 of them, they are, out of 36,000, they are children. They are children, babies, and also 10,000, also women, 10,000 women. 6,500 of them, they are mothers. Now we have hundreds of kids and children. They have no moms and they have no fathers. They were killed. Many families, hundreds of families, they were uprooted from the civil registration file. And in the same time, nothing happened. And this system paralyzed even to provide a bottle of water or a bottle of milk to a baby who is dying. And because the Israelis, they don't let,
even anesthesia.
The humanitarian assistance, food and things like that to get,
not even
mainly in the northern side of Gaza. And from my side, for instance, I have been struggling in a peaceful way.
For many years now.
More than 40 years. Knocking even the doors of all institutions. The ICC, the International Criminal Court, the ICJ, even domestic courts, trying to also going after the criminals there. And nothing happened. No one cares, no one actions. No one actions against the Israelis.
Are you disappointed by the? You sound, of course, and you're disappointed, deeply disappointed by the international community. What about the OIC?
Look,
the Islamic nations.
This body and this organization, I don't want to undermine them by using wrong words, but I think they said a lot. They issued many resolutions. No one implementing the resolution. One of that, give you just one example. The Israelis there in Palestine, you know, the occupation, they have many legs. One of the legs is the economic leg. They take over every aspect in our life and our natural resources. They benefit from our natural resources. In the help of the international companies, these international companies, they complicit with the crimes taking place in Palestine.
Diplomatically, Pakistan has protested against the crimes against Palestinians. But what you're saying is put your money where your mouth is. So what you're saying is that do not do business with companies that are supporting the killings in Gaza.
Yes. When it comes to the arms, for instance, arms companies or arms business, when it comes, let me say, the infrastructure, let me say, companies, those they do something, let me say, trains or something. Yeah, this is an international
So do not sell arms to countries that are using arms against civilians in Gaza.
Yes.
Is what you're
this
saying.
is what we ask. This is what we have been asking for.
Yes.
And not just Pakistan. I use Pakistan as an example. Even that one, it means that you have many things you can do when you are away also. You can do and you can help.
Right.
Like that.
You know, what about the role of Hamas? Now, you have always advocated, as I said earlier, for peaceful means through a campaign. Do you feel that Hamas has been helpful towards your cause? Or do you think that it has jeopardized your cause? The reason I ask you this question is because their actions have left the people vulnerable. That's why I ask you that question.
Look,
was it a bad political judgment?
What you can do? I'm not justifying anything.
Yes.
But even
I'm asking if you think
as a
it was a bad
Palestinian,
political judgment.
I can say, also the international law gives people under the occupation and oppressive regimes to fight against that. But what I'm calling as a Palestinian to Hamas and to any other Palestinian fighters, they have to fight according to the international humanitarian law principles. That's no targeting of civilians, no war crimes they have to carry out. That's any kind of war crimes. And if they carry things like that, they have to be brought before court and they have to pay the price or they have to hold them accountable.
Not the collective judgment that we are, collective punishment that we are seeing.
Yes, no, it's not.
Of children and women that we've seen in Palestine.
And this is
yes.
also to the Israeli side.
Yes.
Israeli side. As an occupying power, what they act, the killing, let me say, the unjudicial killings. This is the
extrajudicial killings.
The executions. I mean, in the field, they execute children, civilians, just they shoot them.
What you tell us is deeply shocking. And
this is the life
it is hair-raising for anybody.
But we keep hope.
After you say that, where do you see hope?
I see hope for two things. One, I do believe strongly that there is no future for injustice, and the future is for justice, no doubt. Another thing is, if you are today a superpower, tomorrow maybe not a superpower. That's the case. Third, I see also the young generation, and I see what's going on. World is changing. And the people now, they are more aware about what's going on, not just in Palestine, elsewhere. What's going on in Kashmir, what's going on in X place, what's going on here, there. This is the case. These days we see the public development. And if there is a hope, which I do believe that there is a hope, I put a hope in the public level, not on the official level. The public, I think, they will change things. When they enjoy democracy, when they act according to their beliefs, that's human rights, this is important. And I see that there are changing. Even if I see that these days, there are in many different places, it's like a jungle. and it's a dark moment. We see, look at it. But I think the
There's light.
sun will rise. Sun will rise for sure, no doubt. And I think fighting for justice and fighting for human rights,
Is the only way forward.
and it deserves all the price you pay for it. This is for your children. This is for the next generation. This is important.
Well, thank you very much,
Thank
Mr. Shawan Jabarin. To our children,
Thank you.
to hope,
Thank you. Thank you.
light.
We keep hope.
we keep hope, we keep
and
light,
we have no right to give up.
and we must never give up.
Yes.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much
so
for
much.
speaking to us.
Thank you.